The ideal candidate would be honest and I think in the middle more. They're both extremes.
I really wouldn't go for either of them if I had the opportunity, which I do. So, yeah. I'd rather see intelligence, thoughtfulness, and more honesty.
I think being like a good leader is really important, especially for our president, and being honest and very transparent.
I would go in more with what Donald Trump is saying. I mean, I agree with what how he feels about most of the issues that people talk about today.
Honesty is not seen in one, and in the other one, I think the other one's just crazy.
I think it's really interesting how this is what we've kind of come to. Two candidates that are disliked a lot by a lot of people.
I think both candidates are highly unfortunate.
I'm not really happy with either candidate.
It's so exciting to finally be 18 and finally be able to cast my vote.
Who can tell me the story of the merit badge, the Purple Heart? Does anybody know the story of the Purple Heart? Do you know what the Purple Heart is? You get it now if you're wounded. It started with George Washington. Now, if I said to you guys, hey, let's go take on the Navy SEALs. Let's go get them. Because there's what, maybe a couple hundred of them in total? We'll take them on. Come on. We can get everybody on campus. And we're gonna get them. Would anybody follow me in their right mind? No. Even if we had a good cause. And I said, let's go take on the Navy SEALs. You know what? 100 of them are offshore, so there's only 100 of them left. We can get them. We have everybody on campus. You know we'd all be killed, right? That's what our founders did. Our founders said, hey, we're a bunch of farmers, and there's only 20% of the American public who are with us. 80% are either, I don't want anything to do with this, I'll go with whatever. And 20% of that remaining 80 said, I'm against it. I'm for the king. So 20% of the American population said, hey, I got an idea. We should be free. You know that country where the sun never sets on the empire? And the reason why it can never set on the empire, that means it has stations all around the globe. It's never dark on the empire. The reason why they have all of those places all over the world is because they have the strongest navy and army the world has ever seen. But we've got rakes. Let's get them. That's how crazy the American Revolution was. Get them. I got my musket. They're marching in rows and stuff. They know how to do this. When we were at Valley Forge, Lafayette came along with a Hessian and said, you've got to be kidding me. This is what you got? The merit badge, the Purple Heart, came because they knew they were outnumbered. They knew they didn't have even the wits about them to do it, even though they're the smartest guys ever. They hadn't gone to military training like everybody in England that was coming across the water to fight them. One of George Washington's most shameful things in his whole life, he felt awkward. Here's one of the greatest men to ever live. He felt so awkward because he never went to college. And so he overcompensated by reading everything he could get his hands on. But he was embarrassed that he was not an educated man. He's leading the group. And he says, look, our cause is just, right? Men should be free. That cause is just. There is nothing more just than somebody standing up for life. Unborn, born, life. No one has a right to come in the middle of the night and take your stuff, accuse you of things, drag you out to jail in the middle of the night, to try you without being able to talk to witnesses, without being able to defend yourself, to have them just take you, take your stuff, take your family, and take your life. No one has the right to do that. happiness. Nobody has the right to take your sweat of your brow, take it from you, and give it to somebody else. Life, liberty, no one can come in and just take me and arrest me and throw me in jail. And happiness, the pursuit of happiness. There's nothing more just than that. So we know God gives us those things, so let's stand up for that. Purple Heart. Guys, we'll never win. We cannot beat England. George Washington said, we can if we stand with God. But what did they do? The Purple Heart was the badge of merit. It wasn't for being wounded. It was for being seen by your fellow man doing something that the eyes of God would look down upon these people and say, they are a good and righteous and humble people that have put their full faith in me. They know they cannot affect it. They know they will lose, but they will stand by every single word in this book. And they will do exactly what I told them, because they know what I know. Lord, if I do exactly what you tell me, if you don't fulfill your promise, there is no God. You have to be bound by that. It's an eternal handcuff to your principles. But the handcuff goes on both sides. I must be handcuffed to those principles as well. Does God ever say, yeah, but you don't understand. I know I promised you that, but you don't understand. It was complex. Does he ever say that? Never. It has to be this way. Do we say that to God? Yep. Should we? Nope. Why? Because then we are lying to him and expecting him to understand it. I see myself in front of the judgment seat as a guy who's lost it all. Let me tell you something. You can lose everything in life. You can lose your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband. You can lose children. You can lose everything, and it will cause deep, deep scars. But you lose your word. You lose your honor. There is nothing that will impact your life more than that. Ever. Ever. I will not return to him and have him say, hang on just a second. I sent you down at a specific time, did I not? Yes, you did. And this is an eternal plan, right? Yes. You weren't born for a happenstance. It just didn't happen that you popped out in America at this time, right? No, Lord. I know there is plan to everything you do. Okay, so I set you in America. At its time of crisis, I gave you parents who taught you my words. They filled it. You even went to one of the best universities based on my word. And help me out again. You did what? Because I'm just looking here, and I know what it says because I wrote it. So I know what it says, but help me out. What part of stay away from men like that? What part of, Lord, we had the Supreme Court quote this, because I played this out in my head. What am I going to say to him? You don't understand? You weren't there? We had no other choice? Yes, you do. Your only choice is to always be loyal to him. Don't try to outthink him. True faith in God, it's the gospel according to Glenn. True faith in God means you live it no matter the consequences. American financing was founded